Win It All is a latest Netflix original movie directed by Joe Swanberg and starring Jake Johnson. Joe Swanberg was sort of the main face within mumblecore movies in the early 2000s, and he has moved into a deal with Netflix, so they're going to see a few movies from him coming on this. Now, it very much sticks to the mumblecore aesthetic by having these scenes of just people just played out a little bit longer than you would expect, of people just having general conversations, but this one tends to have a little bit more of a plot than, say, most of the other mumblecore movies. So Jake Johnson plays a character who is a degenerate gambler, somebody that's just never quite grew up. He is kind of failing at life and unwilling to really do anything about it. He pretty much works all day, gets as much money as he can, gambles it away until he's completely broke, and he'll just return through that cycle again. He goes home one day to find that there is a gang member in his house, somebody that he's obviously had a run-in with at some point, and he is given a deal. If he can keep a hold of this rucksack for 6 to 9 months, as this gang member is going to jail for that period of time, he will be paid $10,000 once he gets out. The only thing is he's just not to look inside that bag. Eventually, curiosity gets a hold of him and he opens it up to find a bag full of money. And being a degenerate gambler as he is, he decides to start playing a little bit with it and spending a little bit. Before he knows it, he's gambled away more than he can afford to repay. And when one of his nights out, he bumps into a woman who he starts a relationship with. His brother has his own landscaping business that his dad left him, and he wants to bring him in and give him a job, which he ultimately does, and he gives up the gambling for a while. That's the basic premise of the movie, but there's a little bit more to it than that, and I kind of like Jake Johnson's character in this. I found him very endearing, which is a hard thing to say about someone who's doing something so down-heart, self-destructive, such as gambling constantly and just basically throwing his money away. But I like this character. He's a lovable loser. There was a certain amount of charm to him, a certain amount of likability, and that's what I bought into the movie. I did feel, however, that the movie kind of loses its plot for a little bit, and that's not a bad thing. It's not as bad as it sounds. About 25 minutes into this 90-minute movie, he stops gambling. He gives it up. He tries to become a better person. He makes a deal with his brother to help pay back the money that he's borrowed from this bag. He starts working. He gets into the routine of adult life. He starts to date somebody. And all that was very interesting. And I liked the scenes, how they were playing out, how the relationship was growing between him and his new lady friend, and how the relationship was being made better with his brother by it just growing a stronger bond by these two working together. It was nice. It was nice to get away from a little bit of plot and just focus on this character living his life. Then, of course, they get to the end and they have to shoehorn in the last part of it, where the gangster's getting out of jail and he has to get that money back ASAP. And his brother can't afford to help him out, and he just gets stuck in a rut and has to go gambling again. And you want him to win. You've bought into this character. You want him just to succeed, get yourself out of this hole, go back to what he was going to do, which is just build a life for himself with this woman, with his brother, with this job, with the career. And I was surprised the fact that it actually drew me in as much as that, so I cared so much about the characters. I really liked Win It All. It won me over the more it went on, because I did expect it to be very plot-centric, which is unusual for Joe Swanberg movies, but I liked the fact that it kind of deviated ever so such a way to focus on the character, and I think it was a masterstroke. At first, it was jarring, but the more I think about it, the more I liked that. I gave Win It All 3 out of 5, a very enjoyable movie with a great lead performance by Jake Johnson, who I'm curious to see will be working again with Swanberg in their next venture, which I really do want to check out. Have you seen Win It All? Did you like it? Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.